Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
This is Duck Insider.
We need to get community. We need this thing to be bigger than just our little circle of players and coaches.
Are you kidding me? Touchdown, Oregon.
With 2 seconds on the clock.
That's the bigger picture in this thing, allowing the community to celebrate the hard work, blue-collar mentality this group brings to the table.
And the Ducks have won it. The Ducks have won.
We get to struggle together, and we get to have joy together.
The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
I am so proud right now to be the head coach at Oregon.
Catch made. Touchdown, Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Now let's go live to the Country Financial Studio to talk Oregon Duck Athletics.
It is game week. Thanks for being with us in the Country Financial Studio. It is Duck Insider. A lot going on as you start to feel the buzz on the practice field this morning. We just came from the practice field this morning. The Ducks going through their regular workout, and they've been able to adapt practice schedules this week to be a little more Portland State oriented early in the process. For example, a practice yesterday that was very similar to an in-season Tuesday for the Ducks schedule. Well, today being a regular Tuesday practice means that Oregon will practice again tomorrow. We'll practice on Thursday, and then before we know it, it's going to be a walkthrough style on Friday, and the Ducks will kick it off at noon against Portland State on Saturday. 10 a.m. pregame show for us across the Oregon Sports Network. Our guests are slated to be Popo Amavai, and I'm really looking forward to a conversation with Stephen Jones. He gives you a lot of fun energy along the offensive line. And then defensive coordinator Tosh Lupoy will be featured on our first broadcast of the season. It's going to be here before we know it. Oregon football back at it against a Portland State team that Coach Lanning discussed at his weekly press conference last night. The way that it'll work again this year, every Monday evening, Coach Lanning will meet with the media, and then again he'll meet with the media on Wednesday. We'll have it for you tomorrow on Duck Insider. But when Coach Lanning describes a dual-threat quarterback, you'll hear that they've focused on Portland State. They've got that scouting report on a good team from Portland. Now, look, we know that's two different levels of football, though. Ducks want to execute. Ducks want to play clean. And certainly the Ducks want to win this game. How they go about doing that, clean execution, focusing on takeaways, focusing on taking care of the ball when you're on offense, takeaways on defense, of course. So Coach Lanning, his weekly press conference, we have that for you to kick off the show today. Also on the program, Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, coming right off the plane pretty much to join us here in the Country Financial Studio. We'll also talk about that 3-0 start, and they went 9-0 in sets. Didn't drop a set over the weekend, did Duck volleyball. And then you heard Graham Abel discussing things with Ryan Milano yesterday on the program. Oregon soccer back at it before we know it. The Ducks will – it's amazing how fast soccer season comes. Every year I think about this. It comes really quick, and it is quick again as the Ducks will be in Flagstaff on Thursday. It's on ESPN Plus taking on Northern Arizona. Graham Abel's squad week 2. Before you know it. Yeah, it's amazing. It comes fast. Also after practice today, Troy Franklin, Duck wide receiver, Jeffrey Bassa, Oregon linebacker, and Josh Connerly along the offensive line. All of that after practice today. All right, let's jump in. Dan Lanning, his weekly press conference. If you're a diehard and you were watching live, good work. For those of you that are tuning in for Duck Insider every day, we'll always have Dan Lanning's press conference every Tuesday after his Monday evening presser with the media. Here's Coach Lanning.
All right, it's finally here. So certainly excited about having game week. It's fun for us to be able to have a home game first. You know, I'm excited to see our fans out there. I know we'll have a great crowd, be a great environment for our players to get to go experience. Like I've said several times, our guys are ready to hit somebody else, and it'll be fun to play a team that's right up from this region as well, and in Portland State, and certainly a coach that I have a lot of respect for. So it should be a fun game for us.
You talked before about taking extensive notes based on what you guys do every practice, every day. Has your game day progression changed at all from last year? And if so, will you detail at all how it has changed?
Not a ton. You know, I mean, the process is still somewhat the process. little notes here and there from how we practice, what we feel like we have to practice that we get the best out of. But I don't know that any of that would speak necessarily to your question. More than anything, we found that we get a lot of good work when we do a lot more good on good periods in practice. We've created a lot more of those.
Dan, you mentioned last week that it was maybe a little premature to start talking Portland State, but now we're here. Can you just talk about offensively what they do that challenges defenses, and then the opposite for?
Yeah, the biggest thing is their quarterback is extremely dynamic. He's a guy that's really fast. It shows up. You can see it. You watch their explosive play tape really quick. You realize that he's a guy that has the ball in his hands. They have one of the deeper target areas for as far as throws down the field. They throw it down the field quite a bit. I think average targets over 12 yards, for them from a passing game standpoint. And then they have a couple, dynamic players that they've done a good job using on that side of the ball. Defensively, they have some guys that, run to the ball, play like their hair's on fire. It's kind of an exotic scheme. It'll be interesting to see. I know they've had some changes, staff-wise and how they manage things on that side. But you kind of have to prepare for everything that you've seen on film from there, or even, previous schools that these coaches have been at to prepare for them.
Will Nishad and JPJ be able to go this week?
Yeah, I think so. Nishad will be a question. JPJ was practicing with us today. Was doing great.
Last year you said Jake Van Dyne kind of helped you get ready for some of those dual threat quarterbacks as a scout team QB. So who for you right now this week is kind of helping you on the scout team get ready for that type of player?
Yeah, Brock Thomas has been doing a phenomenal job for us on that side. He's completed some passes. He's had some success running the ball as well. That really translates back to what he did when he was in high school in Sheldon.
Defensively, will Justin and Kamari be able to go?
Yeah, I think we should have our guys available. Right now, we're still waiting to see what it looks like as we get closer. Have some guys that still have to get healthy.
You said last week when we talked to you, have great respect for Coach Barnum. What's that relationship like with you guys? Have you been able to meet him several times, and what is it about him that you have such great respect for?
Yeah, I've just got to see him. We've been at some these satellite camps that you do as coaches, in the off season, and these mega camps that you go to. I've got to be around him a few times there. He's a really personable guy, and then obviously to be able to be in a place for 9 years, you must be doing something right, and he's done it for a long time. But just respect for a guy that's coaching there at Portland State and how he's built his career.
Just on a personal level, with all the anticipation, the preparation, the excitement, what does the night before a game look like for you? Are you preparing to the last second? Are you trying to relax, unwind a little bit? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, I try to prepare. It's certainly at the end of the night, I'll kind of sit down and go through play the game in my mind before the game's played and make some additional notes for myself that I want to hit in the morning with staff. Just try to get into an easy spot where I can figure out what's next for us. But
how did you feel you guys have approached the last 48 hours now that it is game week? Is there a shift at all? Is it all kind of the same as what you saw in fall? I guess I'm just curious from an energy kind of effort level what you've seen this week so far.
Yeah, I think our guys have had great effort and great energy. They know it's game week. There's been a buzz around the building, that we finally get to go play somebody else. But they've had good juice and energy this entire week.
Last week, Tosh talked about how the first game of the season and the bowl game is when you see mistakes made just because of the rust and the dull between the games. What are the things beyond obviously a win that you hope to see play out, regardless of score outcome, that makes show you guys played a clean game?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we've shown our players. There's more turnovers in college football in week one and then in the bowl week than there is at any other time of the season. There's more missed tackles in week one and in the bowl game than there is any other time of season. That's because of the long vacancy between games. So starting there. But ultimately, college football is still about explosive plays and takeaways, right? So those are things that we want to create, defensively as far as takeaways, and offensively we want to create explosives.
There's no replacing a Christian Gonzalez per se at corner because he was so unique. What has Kyrie shown this month to show that he can be capable of being a high rep guy, but whether it's CB1, CB2, whatever the case is, but that he is capable of being the next lead corner for you guys?
I think Kyrie has speed. He has length. He has things that you look for, as a coach, and it translates, right? It translates on the field. He plays the ball. He's just very savvy. So it's a guy that, had experience too. It wasn't like he came in here and he hasn't played football. He's been playing football. But there's certainly an opportunity for him this year.
It's early in the season. Do you guys feel like, offensively at least, schematically, you're able to go deep into the playbook and you feel all your players are comfortable doing that? You feel like you're still kind of getting into it after this fall camp? Yeah,
really what fall camp's about is building that library of plays, right? Offensively and defensively. And then you want to be able to pull from that library whenever you get into a game. So you don't necessarily carry every single play into each game, but you've got the library that you've already kind of attacked. So for us, I feel like we have all of our tools in front of us that we can use.
Does anything, now that you're here at game week, does anything feel different for you in year 2 here, whether it's just prepping for game week or just mentally preparing yourself for game week as head coach at Oregon?
Yeah, I think so. But just more so just the approach of knowing what's next, right? And you never know what year one's going to feel like going into that first time. But it's not the first time anymore, so certainly a different approach.
Just with fall camp in the books, what do you feel like you've learned about your team from a competitive character and a toughness standpoint?
Yeah, I think we got a really competitive team, right? It doesn't matter really what we're doing on that field. The guys that are in that space, they want to win, right? And it could be a drill in practice, or it could be a 2-minute period at the end of practice, or it could be a game. These guys want to compete. From a toughness standpoint, that's still being shown. It's a long season football. You're going to have bangs. You're going to have hits. You're going to get dinged here and there. We got to see what kind of team we look like at the end of the season, but obviously that starts with right now.
Wondering if there was enough separation in camp to make a decision on punter, and if the plan is to go all the way through the season with that player or to rotate it all, I guess.
Yeah, I think we've had a really good competition there at punter. I'd say, Ross and Nick, and Luke have both really stuck out and both had really good camps. I think there's a great chance you get to see some of both. And then if somebody separates themselves or is performing better than the other, then they'll probably play more.
What is it about Mateo that enables him to be able to play immediately as a true freshman, whether he's a starter or again, secondary guy? That's probably a little bit based on the offense, but ultimately, what is it about him that he's able to play possibly immediately for you guys? Well,
he's intelligent, right? Mateo's a really smart player. I think he, can conceptualize things that we're trying to do. And then obviously from a size standpoint, he doesn't look like a freshman, right? He's got great size and speed, but he's been well trained. He's played at a high school at a really high level with good players and talent. And then he's come here and he's worked really hard to be developed. So I think that gives him an opportunity as well as some other guys to be able to make an impact.
Obviously, you've been busy with Portland State prep, but I'm curious, you had a couple of upcoming opponents that played this past week, and if you're able to sit back and take any of that in and kind of do some early scouting on any of your upcoming opponents.
Yeah, not necessarily for me as far as early scouting. I certainly watched a couple of the games this past weekend, but it gives us a chance as a staff to get ahead. There's other people that'll be working on breakdowns and some of that stuff in advance. But yeah, I got to glance at the game. Certainly not my focus right now.
Having looked at some of those games, Dan, and to see the new clock rules in effect, they had a tangible impact of some kind, approximately 5-6 plays a game. Your thoughts on just what the impact was of the new rules so far, particularly the clock rules?
Yeah, I think it just prioritizes points per possession, offensively. Like, it's not necessarily about points per game as much as it is when you get the ball, do you score, and do you stop teams from scoring, because there are going to be a few less snaps in games.
Will talked about being about 8 deep on the offensive line, and certainly you've got a lot of experienced guys there. What is about Dave Iuli where he's either one of those 8 or capable of being in that next group to maybe make it 9 deep if you had to rely on him?
Yeah, I think he's taken a big step since his freshman year. He's a guy that prides himself when he's on the field. He practices with an energy and an enthusiasm. He wants to do right. You can hear him encouraging his teammates when he's out there. But he's got size and he's got strength, right? So it probably starts there. And when you're a guy that can move bodies because you have a big body, that's a plus when it comes to the offensive line.
From last night, head coach Dan Lanning's weekly press conference. We'll have it for you every Tuesday on Duck Insider with the evening press conference scheduled for Coach Lanning each week. And every week it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with exceptional cancer care close to home. I was really watching this past weekend, like particularly in the USC-San Jose State game, how those clock rules would impact things. And it was funny, like it didn't strike me as much as I thought it would. Going into this season, I really felt like the not stopping the clock would jolt me, not stopping it after a first down until the last couple minutes, and it didn't. 5, as you heard in that question, 5 maybe less plays per game. Speeds things up a little bit. I do kind of wonder, like, this is a little bit inside the broadcast for all of you. Like, for those of us that are maybe watching the non-Oregon game on a TV broadcast, there's probably going to be a little more time in between games. You may not be coming in on a network broadcast in a linear TV situation. You may not be coming in, say, a few plays into the first quarter. I don't know. From a fan's perspective, I kind of like that. I don't want to have to fire up the app on the second screen if my team is – or the game, I guess, that I'm always at my team's game, so that's a bad description. But, you know, if a Pac-12 team is playing in the 7:30 kickoff and a game runs long, I don't want to have to fire it up on the app just to wait for the linear broadcast if there's no, you know, ESPN News, flip over, whatever. Just from a media consumption standpoint, I was wondering about that. And this weekend will kind of be a good test, especially with Oregon kicking off at noon. I mean, my evening is going to be a lot of games. Joseph says clock rules should help the fast offense. I think that's probably true. You know, you do have to operate efficiently. And that word, efficiency and execution, those words have come up a lot in fall camp. And I do wonder if because points per possession are even more imperative now, if there will be less plays run in any given football game, you wonder how much execution, maybe that's amplified and a key to success more this season. We'll see. Going to be interesting how it affects everything. Oh, we've got Troy Franklin, Jeffrey Bossa, and Josh Connerly. They met with the media after practice. But when we come back, we've got Oregon volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer. His team was excellent this weekend. Did not drop a set. They started out 3-0. They are the number 6 team in the country. Matt Ulmer, the head coach, with us right after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Amethyst and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back inside the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Fresh off the tarmac, almost literally, is Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach. Coach,
hey,
I had to do both today. Did you like that?
I did.
Okay, Coach Ulmer today, this morning, landed back from Hawaii. Take fans through your schedule, because I want to have everyone properly understand how much effort it took for Coach Ulmer to be on the show today.
Oh, no effort at all.
No,
come on,
please.
This is just
Humor
a privilege.
Me.
This is a privilege.
Humor me.
Yeah. Well, we decided, we finished playing Sunday evening.
Yeah.
And so then we thought, Monday we'd take a later flight so that we could enjoy like half a day in Hawaii.
Did you?
Without any volleyball? Yeah, it was great.
Good.
Yeah. Yep.
Good.
I think it was the right choice, but our flight got a little delayed, and so then we ended up probably getting home around 4 a.m. back in bed.
In bed at 4 a.m., not like landing at 4 a.m.?
No, in bed at 4 a.m.
Okay, and you were up when I texted you at 7:30?
Yeah. Because remember, at least personally, we didn't bring the 2-year-old on this trip.
Oh, okay.
So then she was really excited to see us this morning, and she was on a 10 at that time.
Okay.
Yeah, so she was excited. But anyway, not everybody had to deal with that. But
right.
That was fun. And then we're just up, and now we have practice coming up.
Yeah.
So we pushed practice back a little bit so that everybody could get some sleep.
Makes sense.
But then we turn around and leave tomorrow morning to go to San Diego.
Yeah.
So and then we have 3 matches.
It's not always glamorous, is it?
I mean, we were just in Hawaii. I feel like it's about as glamorous as we're going to get.
Give and take. Give and take.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, well, congratulations on a great start to the season.
Thanks.
And thanks for making the effort to be with us today. You didn't drop a set. Went 3-0. How'd you feel about it heading into it, and how'd you feel about it on the backside of not losing a set for your team?
I think for opening weekend, it was pretty clean. I mean, it was pretty good. What I liked is. Remember, a big reason why I wanted to go there was I wanted to get into
to get away from me.
Like, never. That would never be it. How do you know?
How do you know?
A hostile environment, right? So again, I thought at the end of our season last year at Louisville, when there was a lot of big crowd and a lot of pressure, that we didn't serve and pass, but we didn't serve him particularly great. And so that's something we need to get better at. And so, going to Hawaii, and it was a great crowd, and it was loud, and they were getting after us, and we really held our composure well. And it was our best serving that we've had in a really long time, and I hope we found some things. But that was really exciting to see. So that was a big plus, and hopefully that's something we can move forward. We didn't serve particularly great the first two games, but the matches, but the last one we did, and that was the one with the bigger crowd.
Right.
And then overall, I think we're scoring right around like 20 points a set. We only played at 25, so the fact that we're scoring on our own 20 at this point, that's exciting. We're getting contributions from everywhere.
Yeah.
And then our block looked really good. And, I talked about it last week that was what was something we were really working on. And so it was nice to see some of those fruits pay off there.
Yeah, I had everything you just mentioned as a bullet point that I wanted to follow up with you on.
Good.
I mean, let's start with
we planned that. That was so smart.
That was great. Let's start with blocking, though, Coach. I mean,
Yeah.
that was a focus. So as a coaching staff, you had to be pretty pleased that the block looked really good after that was a focus heading into week 1.
Yeah, I mean, again, blocking is such a hard thing because your eyes trick you with blocking. So in your vast volleyball, knowledge, what you see isn't what you get with blocking. So you have to be really disciplined. And so normally that's something that takes a long time, throughout the season to get more comfortable with them. But I thought overall, always room for improvement. But I thought overall we had pretty good blocking eyes, good reads, and that put a lot of pressure on the other side. And we're big. I think this is as far as height, and this is, I think, the biggest we've ever been. I mean, Hannah Pukas is, 5'11", but she puts up a good block. But then the next shortest is Mimi Collier at 6'3". Her and Morgan. I mean, it's like that's crazy. So we have some legit size and really good blocking experience. So it was kind of fun to see that go together, and it was very consistent throughout the weekend.
So Chalk Talk question for you.
Yeah.
And I asked this as sort of like a educate those of us that aren't volleyball savants, right? What do you look for as a coach in the block? Like, if we're watching the block and we're not following the ball, which is truthfully, like, I say this all the time as the play-by-play broadcaster, it's hard for me to have the zoomed-out picture because I'm so focused on where the ball is and describing what's happening. So what should a fan who's like, I'm going to focus on the block today? Like, what's a coach looking at in that regard?
Well, there's a few different things, but one right now I want to make sure that we play read defense. We're trying not to just be like we only play one defense. We want to be able to adapt no matter what the other team does.
Sure.
So as from a blocker's perspective, you're very close to the play right away, so that happens really quickly for you. So how good can you get with your eyes to read the coverage of what the offense is doing, right, so that we can set up our defense appropriately? And then how quick can your hands get across the net and take away as many angles as possible? So it's not how high you are, it's how far over you can get. And so for us, I thought our eyes were pretty good overall this weekend. And, San Diego ran a pretty fast offense. All the offenses were a little bit different. But, again, San Diego, I thought they were the fastest, maybe a little faster than we thought, that we prepared for. So I thought we adjusted as that match went on pretty well. And then the others, they had some, pretty unique offensive talented players, that we had to gauge up on a little bit more. And again, I thought we just adjusted well and made good reads throughout. So, so can we get in front of our hitters? Can we get 4 hands, right? Maybe 6 if we have a triple block, over in a good space that takes away a lot of areas so that our defense can play around it, make good reads for themselves.
Matt Ulmer with us, Oregon Volleyball head coach. Mimi Collier and Carson Bacon swept the Pac-12 honors this week. Offensive player of the week for Mimi Collier. Defensive player of the week for Carson Bacon. I got to ask you about a couple individuals who the Pac-12 thought, hey, they were pretty good this weekend.
Yeah, Carson. That's the best I've ever seen Carson block.
Really?
Her energy was great. Just super active, and she had 7 blocks in each of the first 2 matches, I think. But just and a lot of touches and just disturbing the offense on the other side, and even the same way on Sunday. And she had a tough matchup against an All-American from Hawaii, the middle on the other side, and she did great. And that battling back and forth, and that was really important for us. That was a key for us to be able to slow down their middle. And I thought she did really well there. So, and then her offense was good too. That's not what she got credited for, but her blocking was really special, and almost 2 blocks a set for the weekend, that's high. And then Mimi, Mimi was just being Mimi. And I actually thought the connection between her and Hannah wasn't as crisp as it normally is. And I think that's, over time. But I thought what I really appreciate, pardon me.
This is the effort I'm talking about.
Sorry.
Dude got home like hours ago.
I'm good.
And is here.
We're good. And but what Mimi's added to her game is like a little changeup. Right, so she's all fastball freshman year.
Yeah,
and now she has a little bit of game. She's got a little tip, a little curl. She's throwing the ball around a little bit, and I think for her, like that's a really big deal because defenses are just sitting back there with their hard hats on, waiting to get nailed by her fastball, and now she's keeping them honest. Just really proud of her for adding that. That's not an easy thing to do, and she's doing it really well.
Was that an off-season focus? Like, did you all work with her on that in the off-season?
I've been begging her to do that since she showed up.
Yeah.
That's not her mentality. Her mentality is hit ball hard, right?
Yeah.
Which I will take that over every other. But just as she matures in her game, like just adding a couple tricks in her bag, will really help. That will make her efficiency go up.
Yeah.
Right? Her kill percentage is still really high, but can her efficiency get better and just when to use those shots? And I thought she did a really good job of understanding when she needed to do it, and it worked.
This is a team that has a lot of depth and a lot of weapons. It was on display going to a tough place like Hawaii, playing in a tournament setting. I think Matt Ulmer was happy overall with what he saw from his team, but you have success. I thought this was interesting. Coming up, we're going to ask him about how do you handle that success when you still want to get better? You're the number 6 team in the country. Do you celebrate? I don't know. Truthfully, it was a fun conversation. Part 2 of our chat with Matt Ulmer, Oregon volleyball head coach, coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
More Duck Insider coming up on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise, and that could be fatal.
Cars get hot fast and can be deadly. Never leave a child in a car. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. I'm Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. More from Duck football practice coming up, but we continue our conversation first with Oregon volleyball head coach Matt Ulmer. Went 3-0 over the weekend, took down number 13 San Diego in the process. The Ducks are up to number 6 in the latest poll. All good things to start the season for the Ducks, but as Coach Ulmer will tell you, still some things to work on. This was interesting. We continue our chat with the Duck volleyball head coach. I wanted to ask you about overall efficiency, and with that in mind, you said that maybe the connection setter to hitter wasn't as crisp as it has been. Well, I mean, for someone like me, I look at it and I go, God, the efficiency numbers look pretty darn good. So how do you as a coach, especially when you have early success like this, like how do you handle that success mindset? You know, like, because I imagine you always want to get better. You want student athletes that are like, we're going to get better no matter what. But you celebrate some success, I'd imagine, too, early in the season. I don't know. How do you go about that? Like that mental game with student athletes and trying to have them grow their games?
Like, honestly?
I mean,
we beat San Diego, and we went back, and I said, first of all, congratulations. It was a great start to our season. However.
Okay, right. Okay.
Pretty much like that was
so
my quote.
So that's your way.
That was it. I mean, yes, we want to celebrate, and again, that's what yesterday was supposed to be for, that we could enjoy our trip, and and winning is enjoyable, all that stuff. But I just think when you have a group that their goals are so much bigger than just today, that makes it really easy to coach them, because we're just we're just constantly trying to get better. And so there's things we need to fix and that we need to improve upon, or just have better habits. And so I can just continue to work with them on that, and we'll get there when we get there, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. Passing, though, and offensive efficiency. You've talked with me a lot over the years about how the pass is so vital. It sets up everything. What did you make of the passing and the overall efficiency?
Yeah, I thought San Diego, the first match, I thought the rhythm was really horrible in our serve receive. And that wasn't the style of play that, we're used to playing. It was slow and high and off the net, and I think that takes away, some of Hannah's gifts and getting our middles involved when we're much more predictable. But I thought there were some great adjustments throughout, and we ended up passing over a 2-5 against Hawaii on a 3-point scale, which is that's a large number.
Yeah,
and
good percentage.
And we served fantastic against them. And it's really hard to out-serve and pass Hawaii in Hawaii. And the fact that we did, that was really encouraging. And if that's a piece of our game, if that can be consistent, then we have some chances.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Who else stuck out to you? I mean, you talk about the depth of this roster. I mean, you got contributions from so many. That had to be rewarding for a coach.
Well, actually, it was our first practice there on Thursday. Our starting side lost to our to our other side.
They took that personally.
And they beat them pretty good, I thought. And it shook them.
I'm seeing the Michael Jordan.
All of a sudden they wanted. All of a sudden everybody's like, "Can we get some extra reps?" Like the starters, I need to. I'm like, you don't need. If you don't know now, you're okay, But it just shows, the competition in our gym, and I thought that was exactly what the starting side needed. And it's great that we have such depth that we can push each other daily. And I thought they really prepared each other, to have a successful weekend.
And we talked before about playing on those successive days in order to get that many matches in. I mean, that's a difficult thing to do. You did it, though. I mean, what was your takeaway physically after all of that?
Well, that was an added bonus of only going 3 sets.
Right.
We only played 9.
That's why you sweep, right?
We played 9 total, right?
Yeah.
There's times where we played 10 and 2. So we played 9 total, and I think overall, everybody feels pretty good, after playing 3. So that was a bonus. But really, we need these reps as a group, because we need to start gelling.
Yeah.
And even though there's a lot of returning, players, the pieces are in different spots or different responsibilities than where they were last year.
Yeah.
So they need to learn how to play next to each other and how it's all going to work. And again, there was a lot of funky, weird plays for us, that I pray won't be happening a month from now. I would tell them in the huddle, I'll give you some grace right now because it's first weekend. But, these are things that we need to be able to clean up.
Execution.
Yep. So I think, just getting more rhythm together and getting a better feel, again, that's only going to help us grow.
For those who missed it last week also, the volleyball team really spearheaded an effort to help those that have been impacted by the Maui wildfires. They were the couriers of everything that fans donated at Matthew Knight Arena a couple weeks ago. How did supply delivery go? What was that like for your squad?
I think it's still happening.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because there was so much, we couldn't bring it all.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it is exciting. And everybody was really appreciative. And, the girls were happy that they could, do something good, for the community.
Powerful. So, bigger picture now. It's opening weekend. Number 6 in the latest AVCA poll. Not bad.
Mm-hmm.
You got a few matches coming up. Schedule ahead.
Yep.
You're leaving tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Go play San Diego State when we play Pepperdine, Santa Barbara. I can't remember the order. But
UC Santa Barbara, Pepperdine.
Thank you.
Yep.
And 3 quality opponents again, just like last weekend, and a chance for us to continue to get better. We get to go home. We're going to have dinner at Colby's house.
Cool.
And dinner at Morgan Lewis's. And then we also have Noemi Glover, freshman who's from there, and so her family will be around. So we bring our 3 San Diegans home.
Nice.
That's San Diegans, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Ron Burgundy.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we can bring them home, so that's exciting. So a lot of family, but we're looking forward to that. And we were able to do that in Hawaii with Carson and Elise. They had a lot of family there, so that was really neat. So I think everybody's enjoying the trips, and we're playing pretty good volleyball, and we just want to keep getting better.
Thursday, 6:30, San Diego State. It is televised on Mountain West Network. Friday, 4 o'clock against UC Santa Barbara. Saturday, 1 p.m. against Pepperdine. Another sunny location. Good scheduling by the head coach.
Thank you. Although Eugene.
Pretty nice.
Pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beaches.
Yeah. A little different, but not much.
Yeah.
I mean, Florence.
Yeah.
You're in the water there, aren't you?
That's right. All the time. All the time.
Never.
So, by the way, the update, we're still somehow we're 1 away from that season ticket record.
We just need 1 more.
Yeah, it's somehow.
1 more.
Somehow
And
only
it can
1
be
away.
You.
And I've gotten some messages about fans, and tickets, and I want you to just still one somehow. Somehow, just still 1 away. Huh?
Maybe it's like late processing or something.
Yeah, that could be it.
That
you
could
know,
be.
takes time for the payments to
get
go through. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just how's the rehearsal going? Are you up to snuff?
You hear this voice?
I do.
You know why?
I think it's because you've been practicing
all week.
Did you
in
practice
Hawaii.
the whole flight home?
I was out in the ocean just singing the national anthem. That's all I was doing.
How'd it go? How are the acoustics?
So?
How are the acoustics?
You should believe me.
I bet he did it. I honestly bet he did it. Does the team know that this is a thing?
They know now.
Oh, do they? Did you tell them, or is it because I told Carson and Elise?
Yeah.
Okay. You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
Are they excited? They should be excited.
I don't know how they. I'm not sure.
I
thought they would like that, but I'm not. I don't know.
I think they're used to you.
I think so too. I think their response was. I think that was their response.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
which I think they'll
it's
enjoy.
Appropriate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what they'll want to do is they'll want to record me as I'm doing it, so then they can use it on social media later to get me.
To the entire volleyball team, don't worry. We will have multiple cameras recording this for you.
If we get 1 more.
Yeah. If
we get 1 more.
That's right. Still somehow.
Yeah.
Somehow.
We did have karaoke night Sunday after our Hawaii match.
And you were the first in the history of karaoke to go with the national anthem?
I told you, I'm getting reps. I'm getting reps. Practice makes perfect, okay?
How'd it go?
I didn't do that.
No!
We sang some High School Musical. We did some other things. There was a little dance party, too.
Did you do shout?
And
karaoke shout is the best.
It's the best.
It's the best.
Yeah, we had a little Earth, Wind, and Fire at the end.
Oh, okay.
And you know who our lead dancer was?
Matt Ulmer.
Jim Radcliffe.
Really? Coach Rad.
But we're not going to share any video.
Per his request.
Because I'm fearful.
Okay.
Yeah.
For your own, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, got
my
it.
safety.
Yeah, I understand.
But
I understand. Somehow,
it was great.
1 away. Yeah, somehow.
It was great. 1 away.
1 away.
Yes.
Somehow. Hey, congratulations on a great start to the season.
Thank you.
Really, thanks for the effort coming in and hanging out with us. I know it was an early morning, going to be a lot of traveling, and we really appreciate you taking the time.
Go Ducks.
You're the man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You're great.
No, you're great.
It's going to be a great week for Oregon.
It is a good week. Yeah. The last 2 fall sports start this week.
Let's go.
Yeah, soccer kicks it off. You all are second. Then it's cross country and football coming up.
I can't wait.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun.
Safe travels to San Diego.
Thank you.
Thanks again for taking the time.
You got it.
All right. We're going to get time out. When we come back, talk a little more football. It's game week. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
The things I do for you.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
Hey Duck fans, we're all about protecting our home turf here in Eugene. You should do the same for your home with Country Financial Insurance. Most home insurance doesn't account for inflation, but with Country Financial, yours can. If something happens to your home, make sure you can rebuild the same house in the same place. Call a local representative or 866-COUNTRY and get a solid defense for your home. Home insurance policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Casualty Insurance Company, or Country Preferred Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois. Property must meet age and condition requirements, which vary by state.
Don't miss out on summer at Toyota's National Sales Event. It's the perfect time to squeeze out the last of summer with an exciting new Tacoma, Highlander, Camry, and more.
Toyota, let's go places. See your participating Toyota dealer for details. Dealer inventory may vary. Event ends September 5th.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Into the building for the first time after the shooting. It was crippling, but it had to be preserved.
In response to the Pulse nightclub shooting that affected the LGBTQ community, Barbara Poma, owner of Pulse, founded the One Pulse Foundation to honor Pulse victims and survivors.
If you're an ally of this community, speak out. There are more of us together than apart. It is the power of love in its rawest form.
Join the fight for LGBTQ acceptance. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
We're back on Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. Joey Mack in the Country Financial Studio. Oregon volleyball on the road again. They're headed out tomorrow to play on Thursday at 6:30, then on Friday at 4, and Saturday at 1. Oregon soccer is also in action in Flagstaff on Thursday at 7 o'clock. And up in McMinnville Friday morning, hosted by Linfield, the cross-country season begins. That's a look at the schedule, of course, before the noon kickoff. Oh, I can't wait. You get to this time of year, and there's just this build towards it. And especially with the first game being at home, I really like that Coach Lanning said that in his press conference. With the first game being at home, it just feels right. It just feels different. 10 a.m. pregame show for us, a noon kickoff televised on the Pac-12 Network, and, of course, Jerry and Jorgie on the call together for the 35th year. 35 seasons that Jerry and Jorgie have been calling Duck football. Now, some modern enhancements always coming every year. We talked earlier about the game day enhancements, some of the new lighting around Autzen Stadium that'll help you, particularly with those evening games, new specials for concessions, updated charter box, amongst others. There's more details on GoDucks.com. Everything else, though, around game day will be similar. From a game day timeline standpoint, parking lots open at 7 a.m., then it's go time at noon. More details also on GoDucks.com. Just click on that game day tab, and it'll have some information for you on the various bus routes, everything that pertains to you being able to enjoy game day. But also, we want to introduce today the Ultimate Fan Rewards app, Mighty Oregon Rewards. Oregon Athletics is thrilled to launch a new cutting-edge fan rewards app, Mighty Oregon Rewards, powered by FanMaker. More is designed to revolutionize, more for short, by the way, Mighty Oregon Rewards. I didn't do it, but I saw what somebody did there. More is designed to revolutionize the way fans engage with and experience athletic events. It's a pretty innovative app, actually. Aims to amplify the excitement of attending sporting events while providing fans with exclusive benefits and rewards for their support. Mighty Oregon Rewards is set to become the ultimate companion for sports enthusiasts, offering a host of features that will elevate their event experience. So here's some of the features. Number 1. Earning points. Fans can now accumulate points every time they attend an athletics event. Points are awarded based on event attendance, duration, and active participation during the game. There will be some interaction within the app, which is kind of cool. I think good example might be the light show within the GoDucks Game Day app. Similar experience, right? You can also redeem exclusive rewards. So with those points that you earn, fans can unlock an array of exclusive rewards and benefits. They range from VIP access to warm-ups. You might be able to come in for shoot-around at basketball, for example, and behind-the-scenes facilities, tours, merchandise that you can exchange it for, and a whole lot more. There's also going to be some contests and games. So you remember once upon a time we did Oregon Versus? Remember that? It was like, will Oregon be better statistically in this category than someone else this weekend? That was a lot of fun. Well, it's sort of akin to that with contests and games within the app. And also, we know that there can be some downtime, say at halftime, when you're maybe waiting in line for that next beverage. Well, you might be able to do this and earn points in the process. It's also a personalized experience. There will be tailored recommendations and notifications based on the fans' preferences, and the whole idea is that you're connected and engaging during the sports season. Now, I know that Oregon Athletics is not the first to have some sort of rewards program. We've all been familiar with that, right? I mean, I participate in these things. It's compatible with both iOS and Android devices, integrated within the Ticketmaster app. So they talk to each other. So your Ticketmaster app, where you get your Duck tickets, they're going to talk to each other. It can be downloaded for free, Ticketmaster that is, from the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. So join us as we embark on a new journey with a rewards program. Kind of cool. Now, the ultimate question that I have, and before I say that, I should mention that to learn more about the app, features, download links, all that, rewards.goducks.com. Rewards.goducks.com has you covered. I'm just curious if Scott and I are eligible. Like, we're at sporting events all the time. Now, we're working. I'm just wondering. Because here's my pitch to the rule makers of the app, okay? Here's my pitch. We gotta, quality control it. We gotta test it out. It's like when you're cooking and you need to taste it before you serve it to everybody. You gotta make sure it's not poison. You gotta make sure that it works. It's just an idea. I don't know who I talked to about this.
I buy a lot of licorice and hot dog at these things.
Buy a lot of licorice and hot dog? Do you actually?
I do.
That's the choice, is licorice
kids.
and hot dog. Well,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You got to try the new turkey sandwich this year. Coming to Autzen Stadium.
With Sarge bringing that in?
I don't know.
Okay.
But, on that note, I saw Sarge today. John Sargent, he's in charge of concessions. He did listen to the show. He listened to the show while he was running, he told me. And I can confirm that the O cookies, okay, they're available at the suites at Autzen Stadium, hence why the press box gets some of them. And he said that it has been discussed to make them available at concession stands, but, and I can confirm this, the reason they haven't is they have a tendency to break. And we're not going to go sell you a broken O cookie. Who wants that? No. You want the whole O cookie. That's the full experience. So we got the update there. I don't know how many people cared about that. I did. Scott did. I did. Anyway, rewards.goducks.com. Maybe you'll get a chance with the rewards app to get an O cookie. It really makes the game day experience, like, you can have it for breakfast with your hot chocolate or coffee. You can have it for dessert after the meal. Scott eats like 5 at halftime when he comes up from the field. It's just anyway, rewards.goducks.com. The Mighty Oregon Rewards Program debuting today. More details, goducks.com. I want to get a timeout here, and when we come back, some post-practice interviews. We'll hear from Troy Franklin, Jeffrey Bassa, Josh Connerly, more coming. So stick with us on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As a local community credit union founded by teachers, OnPoint is committed to supporting the students and faculty at the University of Oregon. And on game day, we're right there with you, on the field, in the bleachers, and in the classrooms. Drop by our local branch today and discover the many ways OnPoint can help support your financial well-being. OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, we're more than just an award-winning golf course and practice facility. Our events team offers all-inclusive event pricing that allows us to take care of all the details while you enjoy your event. Our indoor and outdoor venues offer you a wide variety of fully staffed options that put the focus on you. From weddings to business and social events, at Shadow Hills Country Club Events Center, you get the benefits of a resort atmosphere and amenities in a peaceful country setting, just minutes from downtown Eugene. Call for a tour today or visit shadowhillsevents.com.
This is Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
This message is for Karina, our mom who finished her high school diploma at age 28. Hi, Mom. It's Emmeline and Nicholas. Congratulations on getting your diploma. You worked so hard and have taught us so much. We love you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Finish your high school diploma for you and for them. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Duck Insider, presented by OnPoint Community Credit Union. People are the point. OnPoint back at Autzen Stadium this year, and we're debuting actually a new partnership with OnPoint Community Credit Union. For every touchdown the Ducks score, they're making a donation toward education this season. Yeah, counting touchdowns, and let's hope for a lot of them. Now, if you're Jeffrey Bassa, though, you're not hoping for a lot of them scored against the Ducks. He was really, I thought, poised after practice today. Talking about the excitement of game week. He's a veteran, one of the leaders on the defense, and really I thought a lot of good stuff unpacking the defense with Jeffrey Bassa after practice today.
Coach mentioned last night you thought the energy in the building was a little different this week, knowing it was game week. How would you describe kind of the vibe?
Oh yeah, it was for sure. I think it's just been antsy in the facility. You know, guys have been ready to play, you know, different teams and, you know, see something like, especially on the defensive side, see somebody else than, you know, our offense out there, and, you know, going out there to play, you know, just a different team.
What gives you confidence about this team going into the season?
I think it's truthfully in our preparation. For sure, I say our preparation, you know, Coach Lanning and Coach Tosh, and then on the offensive side, Coach Stein and Bo giving us a good look every day. So I think, you know, we're just with the guys that we have in the team and have in the facility, you know, we're getting the best looks at practice, so it starts in the preparation.
Which of the offensive guys are you sick of hitting the most?
What was that?
Which of the offensive guys are you sick of hitting the most?
All of them. I'll probably have to say all of them. Yeah, to be honest. So.
When does that set in during fall camp? Like when are you typically like, okay, I'm ready to play the game right now?
I think that starts in, you know, week 1 of fall camp. You know what I mean? You've seen the same people in spring, you've seen the same people in walkthroughs and stuff like that. You know, fall camp, you're like slowly easing up to the game, and you know it's finally game week. So I think we're all ready to go.
Dan and Tosh talked about week 1. There's always a lot of mistakes. It's the first game of the season. Just how do you quantify a clean game for you guys defensively?
That's something that we've been trying to, you know, play the game before we can play the game. So that's something that we focus on in practice again, you know, focusing on takeaways, because takeaways are going to be a major thing in week 1. And so, you know, offenses just really got to, on the offensive side, the offense just got to protect the ball, and then defensive side, we got to take the ball away.
You've had a full fall camp now with this added weight. Do you feel like it's helped you in the ways that you thought it would?
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Just specifically though, just how has that helped you when you're coming down like on a run block or something like that? Just how has this transformed your game?
Yeah, just, you know, adding more physicality to my game, you know, because last year, like, obviously I'm a speedy guy, so, you know, speed and physicality is a dangerous mix.
You feel like you kept the same speed as well?
Yeah. I feel like I even got faster, to be honest.
So the fastest guy in the linebacker room, though?
Yeah, Devin Jackson, I would say so, yeah.
What's the early scout on, I guess not that early now, but on Portland State and their offense, and what do they do well?
Yeah, very explosive offense. You know, quarterback that's going to be back there. He's going to, you know, look to pass, but he's also going to look to run. You know, a 4-4 guy. So, you know, we got to make sure we got eyes on him as well. And so, yeah, they've got some playmakers. So we just got to make sure that we're keeping a roof back there in the back end, but also, you know, rushing the passer up front.
Last year, you guys had a big first game against Georgia, national TV, defending national champs. It's a little bit different this year. Do you prefer this type of season opener versus maybe going into a game like you did last year?
Well, really, it doesn't really matter to me. You know, we can line up the ball wherever, and we can, you know, go against whoever. And I'll be, you know, I think me and the guys will be ready to play. So.
Coach talks about wanting this defense to be respected and feared this year. What will that look like to you? Like, what is the tone you want to set on Saturday and successive weeks, obviously, to where that goal gets reached 3 months from now?
I think first it starts with the effort. You know, guys got to go out there with the right mindset and, you know, be able to swarm to the ball. All 11 has got to be to the ball, and then also just taking the ball away. Because as a defense, if you want to be feared, you want to go out there and have the offense scared, you know, to not be able to, you know, pass the ball or run the ball and run certain plays. So, yeah, just relentless effort in taking the ball away.
Now you've been able to see Mateo for spring and fall camp. What is it about him as a true freshman that, I mean, you played as a true freshman, obviously, so you know what it takes at the second level of defense. What is it about him that enables him to do what you did? You played week 2 in the second level of defense. What does enable him to do that possibly for you guys starting on Saturday?
Yeah, I think just him, you know, starting in practice, you know, being thrown in the fire. Coach wanted to see if he can go up against guys like Marcus Harper and the guys like Stephen Jones who have been here. So, and I think that's the challenge that he's accepted, and he you know, he's stepped up to the challenge, and I think that's something that, you know, he's been progressing throughout fall camp and, you know, throughout season prep. So,
Jerry Mixon, I guess, as a true freshman, looked in your guys' room. We haven't heard a whole lot about him.
Yeah, Jerry Mixon's a guy, a very, very explosive young guy. You know, I think he's going to help our team be great this season. I think he's going to help our room be great this season as well. Great guy in the run game, and then also excellent in the pass coverage as well.
What do you think Justin Jacobs brings to this defense that might not have been there last year? What stands out to you about his game?
I would for sure just have to say Justin's a real fanatic sideline to sideline backer. You know, he's that guy. You know, if the ball spits out, he's gonna run and chase the ball down. So I think that, you know, he's a very explosive kid. So sideline to sideline for sure.
Talking about going against a dual threat quarterback, Dan said Brock Thomas has been playing that scout team role. How has he been helping you guys get prepared for that challenge?
Yeah, he's a fast kid. So I think, you know, just for him to step out of the pocket and then, you know, extend plays has been helping the scout team, and then also been helping the ones and twos as well. So I think he's been giving us a great look this week, and huge shout out to him for that.
Yeah, I like that was the last thing that Jeffrey Bossa said today. The scout team is a huge deal. That it's one of those things kind of like special teams. I feel like you don't talk about it maybe as much outside as the guys do in practice. Like, the scout team gets discussed kind of a lot in practice, actually. You know, this time of year when you get into game week prep, the scout team is out there the majority of practice. You know, there's still individual work that goes on, but you're still going to have those ones versus ones, iron sharpens iron. Coach Lanning talked about that this week, that they've implemented a lot more of those periods, but the scout team is a big deal out there for a lot of practice, and those guys sometimes are a local quarterback from Sheldon High School. Starts out on the scout team. Tomorrow on the show, we've got Dan Lanning after practice in the morning. Rob Mosley and I will chat for a while, some more interviews. See you then.
And here's Heather with the weather.
Well, it's beautiful out there, sunny and 75, almost a little chilly in the shade. Now, let's get a read on the inside of your car. It is hot. You've only been parked a short time, and it's already 99 degrees in there. Let's not leave children in the back seat while running errands. It only takes a few minutes for their body temperatures to rise.